Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. We're back with another episode of Farmville, North Carolina, and we're picking up right where we left off last time, having just washed up all of our equipment. And today we're going to be trying out a new fertilizer spreader, which I've already got leased up at the store. And so I'm going to just run up there. We're going to grab that real quick and get some bulk fill and go knock out a couple of fertilizer contracts, I'm hoping. The price was pretty cheap. I think it only cost us like $1,800 for the lease on that, and we'll be able to make that up pretty quick. Plus, we've got some work to do in our own fields, so doing some jobs for the co-op is going to be a quick way for us to make ends meet while we get our own farm kind of up and running here over the next couple of months. I think once our corn harvest comes in, we'll be sitting in a much more comfortable spot. Because we know we'll be able to feed those hogs that we've got, although we didn't use up as much feed as I was expecting overnight, which is really good for us. It means that our hogs are going to last on the food that we gave them for a few more days/months here. I guess we're playing on single-day months, which is going to work out really well for us. Once we get a little bit larger of a farm going, we might increase the number of days per month. But right now, I don't want to get bogged down doing too many contract jobs in between episodes. So we're going to just take it easy, take it 1 month at a time to get going here. And as the farm grows and we have money to expand, buy some fields, we've got the leasing fields mod on here as well. Maybe in the spring, we'll lease a few additional fields so that we've got more than just the two up by the farm to work. We might pick up a few fields in different parts of the map just to make sure we're moving about and not stuck to one area, although I find we're getting up here to the town quite often right now, which is actually good. It's not too far away, and quite honestly, there's a lot going on here. So this is the I'll say the industrial part of town, all the grain feedlots, or all the grain silos and such. But we do have a number of businesses here in town, and then I think the shop is right back here at the end, and I'm not sure where the lot is. There's the lot with our equipment in it, and so we've got this nice, rather large mobility dry spreader here that we're going to be picking up. The deer are everywhere this morning too, I've noticed, so. And it's got the dual tires on it here, the row crop duals, which is looking really snazzy. It's gonna fit up with us real nice here. We're gonna pop a little bit of that curb while we get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab these fertilizer contracts. There were 4 of them, and then I think when I grabbed the 4th one, it overwrote one of them. So apparently I can only have 3 active contracts. That's all right, but they are all 3 fertilizing contracts. And this is going to give us enough money to cover the expenses for all the silly things we've been buying. I think that water trailer was $8,000 here. So, and after taking a quick look at the map, it appears there isn't a bulk fertilizer buy point anywhere to be found. There is a lime point. However, we're going to just save ourselves the struggle of going out and finding a mod for it and just buy it by the pallet. We'll see if we can get somebody at the shop here to come and load us up. All right, we put 8 pallets in here. We're not quite full, but that should be more than enough for what we need to do. We better stop and tarp this all up here real quick. There we go. All right, now we've got some fertilizer. We've got a bunch of contracts. Let's take a quick look at the map and see if we can figure out where said contracts are. I see field 16 flashing over here, but not the others. Let's go back down here. 16 is definitely the largest. We got 36 and 52 as well. I see 52 up here, and 36 is up here as well. So if we just take a look at this, I think the easiest is going to be to jet on over here to field 16 and knock that one out first. So let's head on up the road here and see if we can manage to find our way to field 16 without having to jump back into the mini-map too often. Now, I thought this was a road. This is a railroad track here. If I look back at the map, we're not going to be able to jet over that railroad tracks. That's just a bit too dangerous, I think. So we're going to head up here and hit field 36 instead. We're coming up here on field 36. I'm wondering what the appropriate way to get into this field is, but I think we're going to just pull into this guy's driveway and use it as an entry point into the field here, because otherwise we may be looking around for a while. I think this has got to be the right spot. So, and we're going to go ahead and unfold this thing, get the spreader all ready to go, and then just turn it right on. And I think we're using automatic application rates here. We're not feeling like doing any kind of cheating. If you wanted to get away with a cheaper application, you could just turn off auto and put it on the minimum for contracts and it would work just fine, but we're going to use an appropriate amount. And I do have my sensors on from the sensor pack that we installed on the Kubota here for precision farming. I don't think it's actually doing anything because this is a contract field, so I'm not too worried about it. We're just going to go for the knock it out and get the credit for our contract mode here. But definitely looking forward to seeing how those work once we get onto our fields. And we're trying to apply the right amounts for things. I think at this point it doesn't know, no values detected. I don't think it knows what crops here or something. I don't even know. But we're getting the fertilizer applied, and honestly, we're not using that much of it. I was expecting we're going to use more when I bought 8 pallets. I always do this with fertilizer. I feel like we overbuy, and then I end up having to do a lot more contracts just to use up the fertilizer. We're going to be using some of this, I think, on our own fields for the first year here. Once we get going, we're going to be doing pretty much all manure, I think, on our fields. I think we're going to have enough hog manure to keep our nitrogen levels on all of our fields at a really good spot just using the hog manure, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Now, I do have GPS installed on this tractor, so I think if I were to turn that on and get it going here, we could definitely leverage that, keep us going on the straight and narrow, although it does look like I'm going at a bit more of an angle than I anticipated. So we'll see how this works out on the next pass, but hopefully it'll keep us from wasting too much product here. Looking good, looking good. We might end up with just a little bit of a sliver on the other end where I wasn't quite going straight yet, but you can see everything down on the mini map here, which is pretty cool as far as the precision farming stuff goes. What I think the coolest addition would be for Farm Sim is if we could get tablets put in here with the GPS information on that was actually hooked up to like the precision farming mini map here. That would be epic, where you could see where you'd planted, your yield monitors, your fertilizer monitors, all that stuff right here in cab. Like getting to that level where I wouldn't even need the HUD anymore because I have an in-cab monitor for that. That would be truly next level, I think. I will say I have appreciated the improvements to the HUD for precision farming, where we've got now the fertilizer rates and stuff that kind of overlay onto the HUD here. Now, in this particular case, because we don't have any precision farming data on this field, it doesn't quite work out in a meaningful way for us, but I know from past experience when we did our own fields that that's going to really help out and kind of let us know what's going on. Now, technically, I didn't need to do that last little bit. We finished the contract already, but I've got to. It's a completionist thing. So let's go ahead and pop open our contract window. We're going to collect that contract, knock it out. I do see 2 more that have popped up, which is nice. And then between 16 and 52, we're closer to 52 here. So we're going to go ahead and knock 52 out before we head over and do 16. And in order to do that, we got to get back out of this field. So we're going to come back over to this driveway and do it the right way. And I'm not sure here. Looks like that guy wasn't quite going to stop, but I think to get to 52, we've got to come down over here, and there's a little dirt path that we're going to take to get back there. It's kind of back behind all these other fields here, so we're going to slow way down. This is a pretty squirrely ditch there. There we go. I think in our live stream we harvested that field right there. Oh, we got some more culverts here. Just kind of bumping and bouncing all over the place. This is actually quite interesting ground back here. All these smaller fields and kind of waterways and stuff. I don't think I'm going to bother setting up GPS on such a small field. I think by the time we just drive around it, we'll have knocked out the bulk of this field. It looks like it had already been fertilized a little bit too. So we're going to be able to just knock these little tiny contracts like this out right quick. We're not using hardly any product on this field. Heck, we didn't use that much product on the previous field. I think we only used about 4% of the hopper. We were at 88%, and now we're down to 83% after we started in. So we're going to knock out all these little fertilizer contracts and still have 70% of our fertilizer in the tank, but that's all right. We'll dump that out up at the yard, and we'll use that on our field when we get going on it. And then also, we've got to get our lime done here at some point. I'm not in a big hurry. In fact, we'll probably hang on to this machine for a second day or a second month here, just because I'm not going to be able to lime the field that we've got all of our corn in right now until we get that corn harvested. So we may end up having this lease for more than 1 month here, but that's okay. It's only going to cost us a few $100s, I think, to keep it around. And that's definitely cheaper than trying to buy all of our equipment here as we're getting started. And so just like that, I think we're pretty much done. I'm going to just kind of try and circle around down here into this triangle. There we go. That's finished. We're going to finish this out to the end. And that's not a road, that's a waterway, so we're going to stay out of that and hop on back up onto the road here and make our way down to field 16 to wrap up this first trio of fertilizer contracts. Now, I'm expecting getting out of here is going to be a little interesting. We're going a little fast. I was planning to stop there, but we just got going right up that hill, and it made sense to get up on the road and out of the way before anybody came. Now, we're coming up here on field 16, which I think is right past these tracks, and I don't see a field driveway per se, but the ditch entrance isn't so steep right there. It was kind of steep, to be honest, but I don't see another way into this, so we're gonna say that was our entry and go with it. I'm gonna turn our fertilizer on here, and I think we're gonna start on the waterway side here and work our way around the squirrely side of this field so that we end up on those straight rows, and we can start our GPS off over there on the way back up the straight rows. I think it's going to be the quickest path. Now, this field is actually a little bit more sizable, so we'll go through a little bit more product on this field, which is a-okay by me. It makes it feel a little bit more worth it. We did buy $15,000 worth of product, and so I figure if we do at least that many contracts to justify the purchase, we'll be in a good spot. The nice thing with the big fertilizer spreaders like this is that we can get away with only doing one headland pass as well. So extra points for efficiency there. And we could probably turn our flashers off now that we're working in the field. I seem to always forget that. I either forget to turn them on or I forget to turn them off. Just no winning. just like that, we're onto the straight rows here. I'm gonna flip my perspective around, make sure we're not putting too much fertilizer out into the grass there. And then we're going to readjust, get an AB line going here again. And just like that, we're going on the straight rows. Let's pop back into our menus here and take a look at that previous contract that we completed. Another $1,400, not bad at all. This one's actually a really nice size contract. I think if I can pick up these other two, that's gonna really put us back into a good spot. Money-wise, we'll have covered the cost of our lease and our product and make it worth it to have this whole setup for when we want to start doing lime. It looks like I didn't do the headland on this side, so we're going to leave that on as I make the turn. But yeah, this is only going to take a couple more passes here to get across this field at this rate. You know, maybe 3 more rounds, probably less than 3 rounds. Probably 2 to 3 rounds and we'll be done. And so with that, I think we're going to wrap up today's episode. This has been a fun adventure in getting some fertilizer spreading going and really putting this new Kubota tractor through its paces. I think previously we did a little bit of cultivating. Now we're doing a little bit of fertilizing. If you've enjoyed today's episode, drop a like. It helps the channel out immensely. And yeah, that's all for today. Kedrick, out.